What's up, everybody? It's Wildcard Weekend here with Jack and Glenn here at Glenn and the Gang. We're talking Bears Wildcard playoff game against the Saints in the Superdome in New Orleans. Bears coming in off of a brutal loss to the Packers, but get into the playoffs anyways because the Rams are able to beat the Cardinals. Jack, what are your thoughts heading into this weekend?
Yeah, I first and foremost, great season. I did not see playoffs coming. 8-8 is about where I thought they'd be, if not maybe 7-9. So I think the season was a relative success in my eyes. I didn't think that would get them into the playoffs, but it did this year. So, that's great. First time they got 7 teams on each side, and we steal that last spot. I absolutely love it. I love that, they had that rough patch of the season where I think they lost 5 or 6 in a row, sort of came through it, sought it out, didn't completely fold. I could bash Nagy for a number of things, but
Oh yeah,
I think righting the ship and kind of getting him back on track, I think I got to give him some due respect for that and some credit. I love the way they bounced back, and I'm ecstatic. We get to watch a playoff game on Sunday. Unfortunately, I think this will be a short-lived playoff experience, to say the
yeah.
least.
I mean, you can't argue with that. Even if they somehow get the miraculous upset of the Saints this weekend, they head to Lambeau to play Green Bay, and we all know how those games went this year. And even if they win that one, then they're in an FC Championship game against another incredible team, and then you got Super Bowl. So from here on out, it's 4 games that they're going to be double-digit underdogs in. So survive in advance. It's the name of the game. If they have any shot in hell, they're going to have to control the clock. They're going to have to play better defense than they did last week. And they're going to probably need some lucky moments to go in their favor.
Yeah, one thing that worries me is I think the Saints are a lot of times the Bears are can deal with teams who sort of have those big plays and then they kind of bend don't break on the back end of the defense and maybe get away with a big special teams play or something and are kind of able to stay in games. But the Saints, Drew Brees, the guy can't throw the ball more than 15 yards. They're just going to dink and dunk you to death, and Kamara is going to do his thing. And I don't think the Bears defense, especially with how poorly they've been trending, I don't see them being able to hold them down in any manner. And unfortunately, I don't see the Bears offense being able to kind of save them, if you will, going up against a Saints defense that's a lot better than I think most people probably realize. That being said, though, last year the Vikings, another team in the NFC North, went in there and they upset the Saints
Yeah.
in the dome, first round of the playoffs. Took sort of a no call on that Kyle Rudolph push off overtime situation, but they beat them, and it's very similar teams, so they've shown that they're not invincible by any stretch of the imagination. It certainly can be done. Unfortunately, I sort of think that is just extra motivation for the people in the other locker room. But it's been done. History repeats itself time and time again throughout everything that you can look at. So there's a precedence for it. It could happen. Angels in the outfield. It could happen.
No, for sure. When looking at the injury report right now, we'll touch on that a little bit. There's 4 key names on it. Jalen Johnson, it looks like he's been a limited participant at practice, potentially back this week. Roquan, Mooney, and Buster Screen have not been participating at practice. It looks like Roquan and Mooney will know by Friday whether or not they're playing. Screen, it looks like he's just going to be out. It seems like he's got some huge concussion he's been dealing with for the last number of weeks that he's been out. So, you're talking banged up secondary in the defense that could use all the help it can get. Roquan, arguably your best player nowadays on defense. I think you can make that argument. Maybe it's still Mac, maybe it's still Hicks, but you kind of need Roquan flying all over the place there in the middle. And then Mooney is proven to be the second guy, at least at the wideout spot, behind A-Rob. and you got Anthony Miller that steps in to try to fill that void, and I can't really say he's been reliable in his career as a Bear. Yeah, I mean, those are some tough injuries you don't like to see. You'd like to be as healthy as possible heading into a tough game in a tough atmosphere down in New Orleans. But yeah, that's the injury report.
Yeah, no, I mean, Mooney would be tough. It really seems like him and Mitch have started to develop quite a bit of a solid chemistry these last few weeks. So that one would hurt. I'd like to think, they're young guys. They're, playoff appearance. They're gonna just on adrenaline alone, they should be able to get out there. That being said, if you're coming in with something, it only takes, one little nick and you could be out the rest of the game. But hopefully they at least suit up, sort of give them something. But yeah, what you said about the defense is a big reason that I could see this getting ugly. Michael Thomas is the opposite. He was hurt all year. This is going to be the healthiest he's been. And that secondary is all banged up. If Roquan Smith, like you said, you could make an argument he might be their best defensive player. It's just that rush. You still need a guy like Roquan Smith in the middle. So the argument's tough just because they're so different. You kind of need both of them. Can't really have one without the other to have success. But yeah, I'm worried about a healthy Michael Thomas against a banged up secondary.
Yeah. All right. Predictions for the game. I'm going to go. Obviously, the Saints are the clear-cut favorite here. They're home. They're the 2 seed. They've been a more consistently better franchise over the last decade. They got the better quarterback. None of it matters. Bears find a way to win. They get to go to Lambeau next week. Bears 27, Saints 24.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, unfortunately, I think it's going to be ugly. I think the Saints are going to put up around, I'm going to say 42-17. I think it's going to be just not something to enjoy. It'll be fun for about 15 minutes when you got the playoff hype, and we'll realize quickly that it's just over. But I will say this, Eddie Jackson, where you been, man? 0 interceptions this year. The guy's made 0 plays. He shows up on Sunday, does something crazy like he was, prone to do last year, where he grabs a pick six, maybe makes another fumble. Eddie Jackson makes some plays, maybe give us some juice, have an outside chance. I don't think it's going to happen, but if Eddie Jackson could do something, just do something, man, we'll see.
Yeah, it's really crazy. I was actually thinking about this the other day. He really hasn't been good since he got injured at that final play that he played of the Bears-Packers, like Week 16 in 2018, where he got the pick and then he hurt himself going to the ground. He hasn't been the same guy. I don't know if it's because of anything with him, if it's because of the system with going from Fangio to Pagano. Maybe Fangio was putting him in better spots to make plays, and this is more just he plays a different role in this defense or what. But, man, 2 years ago I thought he was going to be one of the best safeties, like an Ed Reed type. And he just is not. He is. Yeah. The last few years, he's been average at best, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, he's done nothing. So that's what I'm saying. I don't like, but I do think that the Saints are going to kill him. So, but my only hope is Eddie Jackson does something crazy that, we kind of thought, like you were just saying, like we thought he was going to be. Hopefully that Eddie Jackson shows up this weekend, and maybe it's a different story.
For sure. All right, well. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoy the game. Hopefully it's a great game. Hopefully you drink some Miller Lights or your drink of choice. And
Bears.
Bear down. Thanks for watching. Peace.